Hey, Wichita, we are back with a special episode
Special
of Coffee
episode.
Break.
Special because we're recording this before the weekend.
Yes, on a Thursday before the weekend.
Which we've never done. We've always come back after the weekend.
Yeah. And we're doing it because there's somebody.
By the way, I'm your host, Officer Macy with the Wichita Police Department Public Information Unit, with my co-host,
Officer Chad Ditch, and I'm also with the Public Information Unit. And it is special because
Chief Sullivan is in town today.
Yes.
He's been in since 1 a.m. Oh, man. And he hasn't slept yet?
Yeah.
It's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, yeah. That man's going to need a nap. But that's the dedication that he brings to the department, to the city.
That's good to see.
It's awesome.
He said he was out meeting and greeting all sorts of folks today, getting some HR stuff done, crossing his T's, dotting some I's. So we'll have him as our interview. But meanwhile, how's your week been?
It's been so busy, man. So busy. Yesterday we do get to talk about it.
Yeah.
But we haven't even posted it yet. So, excuse me. We had our DV awareness social media town hall.
We posted it?
No, the YouTube for the previous.
Oh,
show,
the last coffee break.
The one we did on.
So we're
Wednesday.
recording a new episode before we even posted the last episode?
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how fast and dedicated we are to the show. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we had that amazing turnout for our the panelists that all showed up.
A lot of good questions on there.
Yeah, and a lot of engagement. I think we had like 900 people that were engaging. There was about 1,500 likes or something like that.
Wow.
So it was good. It was good. I really hope that provided a lot of information to citizens, and hopefully if there's anybody out there that is in a domestic violence situation, you now know where you can reach out to for help and guidance and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And if you missed the town hall, it's still available on the Facebook page. You can look in our videos tab or on our feed. You can watch the whole thing, complete with all the questions asked and answered.
Yep.
Chad did a great job moderating.
You did a great job making sure the cameras and all the technical stuff work, because that is one of your many fortes. But I also yesterday went to speak to some kids with Teen View magazine. They've been doing some presentations all week long in orders to and efforts to fight fentanyl. So
that's awesome.
It was good turnout. Great questions that were asked, especially when you let kids know that Snapchat does not delete all your messages.
Yeah.
Before there was no questions, and when I made that as a point, there was questions galore.
There's probably people watching right now who are like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
I can't."
They don't just delete automatically, folks. So
we don't. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been busy. So.
And so I guess this is airing after Halloween.
Yes.
So. I was gonna tell you how my Halloween was, but I don't know yet. I don't really have any big plans, but my costume is gonna be pretty
You're gonna
cool.
be Batman or something, right?
Yeah, Batman
man.
costume. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's pretty dope.
I have to bring some pictures to work so you can see them.
Yeah. So I've been trying to prepare today for the One Has to Go, because we knew the chief was gonna be on here, and I'm trying to do the Philly thing. So we'll see
I'm excited to see
works
that
out or not, man. So. But yeah,
I'm excited to talk to him. I think he's here if we want to go ahead and get him on.
Yeah, this is a special episode, so let's quit us yapping and we'll just get to the man himself.
All right, we'll get a refill.
That's my line. We'll be right back. And we are back with Chief Joe Sullivan. Chief, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I feel very welcome.
Yeah.
Everybody in Wichita is very good at making you feel welcome. Well, so I'm thrilled to be here.
No, we're happy. We know you're super busy. It seems like, anytime we're talking to the chief, no matter who it is, you have like to the minute on your schedule. So we appreciate you taking the time to join us on our podcast. So.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So we ask everybody the same questions. I know this is one of your first days down here and stuff, so don't feel bad because everybody answers it usually the same way. But have you seen the podcast?
I have not.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.
That's
but
okay.
We're
one of many. We're going to convert you to a fan.
I just learned now there was a podcast.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've been going strong for 6 months. But the main question, and we talked about it off camera, is that we do this so the community can get to know who we are as people, right? Because we're the same person on and off duty, but we want people to know Chad Ditch, Trevor, Macy, everybody that we bring on. So tell us, who's Joe Sullivan?
Joe Sullivan. Well, very proud dad. I have 3 grown children. Mm-hmm. My son is in law enforcement in the military. Okay. I have a daughter in Chicago who is a biologist, and she does animal preservation. And don't really understand what she does. And my beautiful daughter Tricia is in Seattle, and she does business development out there. So they all took very different paths, but all very successful in their own right. So that's who I am first and foremost. Yeah. And I'm a backup doggy daddy.
Okay, there you go.
I have 2 step grandchildren, and looking to increase that.
Right.
And then, of course, I'm a law enforcement professional.
Yeah.
That's how I spent my life since I've been 19 years old.
Okay.
I love policing. Love engaging with the community. I love team building. I love setting a goal and then, assembling that right group of people to move towards that goal and achieve it. That's what I really love about policing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you've been doing it for 25 plus years, right, sir? Or
38. Yeah, I'll come clean.
Man, there
you go. I told you,
okay.
19 years old.
Right. So you've obviously held a lot of positions in that time. You probably started a patrol officer, right? Like all of us. So can you kind of walk us through the different areas you've worked in?
Sure.
Briefly, if that's possible.
Sure. I graduated the police academy, and I was assigned to it's called the 39th district in Philadelphia, which is northwest Philadelphia. A very busy area, very diverse area. Had a wonderful time there, and was transferred into the SWAT unit. I spent 3 years there as a police officer until I made sergeant. And then I went out to West Philadelphia to another very diverse and very violent neighborhood, where I learned my supervisory skills. From there, I had a couple more assignments. I was in Center City, started a substation in Center City that was part of the plan to revive Center City under the then Mayor Rendell administration, and it was a very successful program. I made lieutenant, and I went to the 26th district. Again, I kept going to busy places, but that's what I enjoy doing, and got to lead a platoon of officers. Stayed there. I took over a narcotics task force, and then was asked to come back to SWAT again. And shortly thereafter, I made captain. I always tell people that I love being in SWAT so much that when most people would walk into a promotional interview nervous, I had no nerves whatsoever, because the worst thing that could happen to me is that I stayed in SWAT. So I think that always served me well. So, but then I made captain, and I was the commanding officer up in the 35th district. Which is just north of the 39th district, in that section, where we did some really innovative things to address crime, and it was a great place to learn as a new captain. And I was then tapped to take over the 9th district, which is Center City, Philadelphia, and that was a really complicated assignment, because I literally oversaw some of the most expensive real estate in Philadelphia, and also a neighborhood that represented one of the most impoverished neighborhoods in Philadelphia, and it was a challenge to make sure that we were providing the same level of service. It was a district in which part of it was also experiencing the problems with gentrification, so it was a challenge, but a challenge that I enjoyed. I think I was very successful in serving the diverse communities that made up the 9th District, and prepared me well. I made inspector and became the commanding officer of narcotics. It was a job I really didn't want. I didn't have any really prior experience, so I was hesitant. Just a job I absolutely loved, and very proud of the accomplishments of the men and women that served under me, and the things that they'd done. During that time, the city saw one of its lowest periods of homicide in modern history, and so much of that can be attributed to the incredible work that was done by the men and women of narcotics. I got sent back up to the 35th as the inspector of the division. So that really was an experience that taught me how to command large groups of people. I mean, that division alone was probably 700 officers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and a very large land area. So I gained a lot from that. Then I became I was promoted again to chief inspector, and I was sent to the training bureau. Initially that was another assignment I didn't relish because historically that had been a position where we send chiefs to retire.
Right.
But I kind of made it my. I kind of redesigned it, if you will, and we rewrote the curriculums for the academy. We looked at the manner in which we hired police officers. There were some problems in the process and the steps in the process that was preventing us from, number one, hiring, but also meeting our diversity goals. So I was part of a task force that examined all of the different steps in the process, and we got rid of some, changed the order of others so that applicants had the opportunity that if they failed the first time in one step, we would be able to retest them, and we were successful in that. Unfortunately, in Philadelphia, the chief inspector of training is also the funeral detail commander, and I have a distinction. Unfortunately, I oversaw 8 line of duty death funerals, and that really took quite a toll on me. I instituted the department's active shooter program and long gun program for patrol. So as a result of that, by that time, Commissioner Ramsey, Charles Ramsey, I think everybody knows who that is. I don't think anything better could have happened to me in my career than have the opportunity to work under Charles Ramsey and be mentored by him. I learned so much. So he gave me the Homeland Security, which is probably the most defining assignment in my career because I was responsible for so much. All of the tactical units, SWAT, bomb, aviation, Marine, Homeland Security, dignitary protection. But I was also responsible for other units, including the Civil Affairs unit that oversaw demonstrations in Philadelphia. And under the direction of Commissioner Ramsey, I developed an expertise in that, an expertise that served the city well, and that we earned a reputation for being able to handle large demonstrations, especially demonstrations that involved the police, and do that in a way that we rarely ever made arrest. Rarely ever had to use force. If we did, it was the minimal amount of force. We were very good at communicating with the protest community in advance, negotiating, compromising. So that was something I was very, very proud of, and it was an area that I had never dealt with before. But again, I had great people that worked for me, and I had a great boss that really helped me learn those skills. And Rich Ross was another one of those great bosses. Rich Ross promoted me to deputy commissioner and assigned me to patrol operations. So initially, I was actually upset about that because I just wanted to continue in the tactical realm. But patrol operations is the bulk of the police department. 4,700 people.
Oh wow!
Were in my command, and it's 21 patrol districts, 6 patrol divisions. But I was also the liaison to the LGBTQ community. I oversaw hate crimes. I was a liaison to the Anti-Defamation League. I oversaw PAL. I oversaw the Police Explorers. I oversaw Community Relations. I oversaw the unit, the Neighborhood Services unit, that is responsible for towing abandoned cars and tracking red light tickets. And I'm probably leaving somebody out, but so it was a really, really complicated job. And it really taught me the intricacies of managing large organizations, and again, I had a great boss to work under in Rich Ross because he took over for Commissioner Ramsey when he moved on, and it's one of the things that Commissioner Ramsey taught me when he left. As much as we loved him, we didn't even notice that he had left, simply because he had made sure that transition was absolutely seamless. And that's the hallmark of a great leader. So I continue to be in touch with the both of them, and often run things by them. And they'll be hearing a lot from me in my new assignment as I begin to tackle different issues and problems, and I'll be reaching back to them and some of the other people that I've had the opportunity to work with in Philadelphia.
Well, it sounds like the phrase "you've been around the block" is an understatement, because you've been around the block a couple times. I mean, you've done a lot in your career. I'm currently taking classes and stuff, right, for my bachelor's degree, and I've taken a lot of leadership classes. So what's something for you in your leadership style that not allows you, but helps you come into, and we're asked this question a lot, right, during the process, to come in from the outside, come into the police department, and gain the trust of those officers? What's your leadership style that you bring to the department?
Well, I think that everyone that has seen me today, and the schedule that I kept today, the focus of my day has been to engage with as many members of the department, both sworn and professional staff, of all ranks, because I think that my style is to be accessible and to be collaborative.
Yes.
And the former commissioner of LA and New York, Bill Bratton, wrote that book that says collaborate or perish, and it's very true. And also, I've spent a lot of time reaching out to my law enforcement partners outside of Wichita, because if we don't all work together very closely, we're not going to be as successful as we could be.
It's the same thing, like when we have in our department, when we want to share intel about different bad guys and stuff, we communicate the same way, I guess, with outside. If we want to learn how to work all together and how everybody's doing it, communication is key. So
absolutely, and that's one of the things that everyone in the department is going to see. As I told everybody that I talked to today, we'll talk again soon. Today was kind of informal, but I'm going to be out in every command, on every tour of duty, at every rank, in every assignment, and we'll do it formally. And because I got some great ideas today. Some people brought some things to my attention that are really important, and that's the kind of feedback that I'm looking for. And I really appreciate that, and that type of feedback you're going to see that I'll be putting things into action very quickly. There's some things that are going to take long term. I'm going to have to find funding and things of that nature.
Right.
But there's some things that people have come to me with today, and I just have said, make it happen. So I'm going to be looking at everything, but I really have always valued the input of those people that have the knowledge and are motivated to share it.
Yes.
I don't care what rank you are. I always correct people when they say that, well, he's only a sergeant or he's only a cop. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
I'll go into my tactical experience. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the scene where I'm the incident commander of a tactical emergency, and I might bypass a few ranks because I'm going to go right to that man or woman that has the answer that I need at that moment.
Right.
And I respect people for not based on the jewelry they're wearing, but the knowledge they have and their willingness to share their ideas with me. I always retain the ultimate responsibility, but I've been successful because I've always been willing to listen and to take that advice.
That's amazing.
So you had a wide-spanning career in law enforcement, and it's no secret for any of us that law enforcement has changed probably pretty significantly from when you started to now. Can you talk about kind of what do you think some of the biggest changes are, and kind of what is some of the biggest challenges that are facing law enforcement today?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest challenges are, and like in a city like Philadelphia, for those officers, I always say I can't imagine me beginning my career now, because there's a very bad relationship with the district attorney in Philadelphia. It makes it very difficult for them to do their job. Officers are really afraid to, and also the problems with the community. It seems to be so much better here in Wichita. So that requires leadership, and I think the one thing that you can count on me to do is that, whether you agree with me or not, you will always know what I expect or what I want, what I'm looking for. I think more often than not you will agree with me. That it'll be quite clear to you what direction we're going. I'm very good at communicating through the chains of command. I'm going to be very, very cautious about making sure that, number one, there won't be any change for the sake of change. I'm not here trying to put my trademark on something, and I'm not going to change the color of the cars, and the commanders aren't getting white shirts, and officers aren't getting light blue. I don't believe in that. I'm not bringing the Philadelphia Police Department to the Wichita Police Department. What I've seen so far, the Wichita Police Department is really like impressed me. And I just, but there's a lot of experiences that I've had that I think I can help with some of the problems that the department is facing right now, including communication with the community and building community trust, but also making sure that at the same time officers feel supported and they know that they can count on me when they're doing their job and they're doing the right thing and they're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chief, we've had probably 28 guests on here, so 28 weeks worth of doing this, and we talk a lot about mental health, especially for law enforcement. You've been doing this for 38 years. Everything that you've been through, you still got all your hair. What is
most of it?
Most of it. So, what's something that you do for your mental health, just to keep everything to keep going? You seem like you're a very positive man. So, what are some things that you do in order to keep that intact?
Well, for me, I try to maximize the amount of time I see my children, which is hard. I try to get to the gym on a regular basis. I've been doing really bad since I've been signed that contract because I'm really trying to expedite my final move out of here because I really want to jump into this job and give it my 100%. But I love dogs. Yep. So when my son drops the dog off, great big German Shepherd, and that's for me is that really calms me down. I can't say watching the Eagles because that doesn't calm me down. And,
this year, maybe.
At least this year, at least this year when I'm yelling, it's happy. Yeah. It's happy yells. But it's just a combination. It's probably something that I really, in my short break in law enforcement, it's something that I have really had to kind of find my way with because I wasn't used to that. I was kind of used to not, I always laugh. I said I think it's been 25 years since I slept through the night.
Right.
Yeah. You don't aspire to be the deputy commissioner of patrol operations in Philadelphia because you like to sleep and have your weekends off.
Yeah.
But that's the type of stuff that kind of energizes me. Come to me with a problem and let's get together and figure this out, come up with a solution. Like that's the stuff that
it's real rewarding when you can be able to do that too.
Yeah, so I'm probably bad at that.
Yeah,
so maybe you'll be able to help me here because there's so much to do here.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not good at that. So
we're getting to Top Golf soon too. So that's going to be.
What's that?
We're getting to Top Golf next year.
Really?
So, have you ever been to Top Golf?
No.
Well, you have to check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. You don't even have to know how to golf.
Wait, no, I was terrible, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
You don't
terrible.
have to be good, but you can still have fun.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to explore and find any spots that you like here in Wichita, food or anything like that?
Not when it comes to that. I mean, I've seen a lot. Like, I've been out to the zoo, and I told my daughter right away.
It's a great zoo.
She actually knows people at that zoo, so that's great, I've seen, like, a lot of the museums and attractions from the outside.
Yeah.
But so that's why I want to get settled, and I want to get her down here, and as well as my son and my other daughter, and start exploring that. But I really haven't had the opportunity to. The selection process was robust.
I'm sure it was grueling.
So there wasn't any time, and I even have a pretty packed schedule while I'm here. But unfortunately, one of the officers I referred to was an academy classmate of mine that was killed in a Dunkin' Donuts interrupting a Dunkin' Donuts robbery. So I have to get back on the 1st, which is the memorial. So I'm very close to the family, and so hopefully the next time that I arrive in Wichita will be for good. That will be my goal, and I'm going to try to accomplish that as quickly as possible.
Well, you let us know if you need anything.
I sure will.
We'll give some recommendations too, because we love food.
Oh yeah,
in Wichita.
We
love to eat, and
I haven't eaten all day, so when we finish here, but you can please hand me the list.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that kind of segues into our game that we play on this podcast every time with the guests. It's called One Has to Go. So we'll put 4 items on the screen, and you have to choose one to get rid of forever out of your life. These are 4 different food items.
You might need to help me out here. I chose a Philly thing here, right? So you got the Philly cheesesteak. You got the hoagies. Philadelphia, I guess, is known for some soft pretzels.
Yeah, but they're not Philly soft pretzels. So they're Aunt Annie's small pretzels. They're good. They're not Philly soft pretzels.
And then that other one was Tyler. You might have to help me out. I think I put it in the email. It's some kind of dessert. Do you know what that is?
They're tasty cakes.
Tasty cakes.
Yeah, that sounded delicious.
It's a Philly company. They are delicious. If I had to get rid of one of those four, it probably would be the tasty cakes.
The tasty cakes.
Yeah, tasty cakes.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's nothing like going to South Philadelphia corner deli and having them make you a hoagie or a cheesesteak or roast pork.
Oh, you see, that was another one.
But you have to know whether it's they're going to ask you with or without.
Yeah,
with or without.
That's
wit.
it.
Yeah,
with or without what?
Or without.
There's no with. There's wit.
Wit.
Okay. Well, do you want provolone cheese or do you want cheese whiz?
And what do you want to do?
And you better know when you get up to that window because usually they're pretty busy.
Kick you in the back of the line.
Yeah, they'll be like moving on.
Yeah.
So
what's your choice? Do you want to not with that, but do you do with or without?
I'm a no cheese guy.
No cheese.
Yeah,
yeah. So just a Philly steak sandwich.
It's a shame, but I'm one of those people that doesn't eat cheese. But sometime maybe we'll be in Philly and see. I can't say anything bad about anybody in Philly.
Yeah, because they're like warring down there over who has the best cheesecake or cheesesteak, and
they are.
Mm-hmm. The best one though I think was there was a bar called the Irish Times on 2nd Street. And they had the best Philly cheesesteak I ever had.
The Irish Times?
The Irish Times. They're closed. They're closed now. It was just east of the Curly and Moe's restaurant on that same street. It was on a corner, and I stumbled in there one night to watch an Eagle game, and they made me a Philly cheesesteak. It was better than the ones further south.
Huh. Well,
I thought so.
It's a good year for Philly sports, but that's okay. Remember, Andy Reid is a Philly guy.
That's true.
And I love Patrick Mahomes, so I have no problem becoming a KC fan. No problem at all.
There you go.
What were you getting rid of, by the way?
Probably the tasty, because everything else, I mean, you can't disrespect.
I want to try a tasty cake.
It sounds delicious because they can do some that are chocolate, I think, too.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of the pretzels.
So many of them.
Really?
They're way too salty.
Oh my so when I went to the FBI Academy, the National Academy, I was able to drive home on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So, but one of the things I would always make sure is that I would have my officers secure tasty cakes and soft pretzels for me. So when I drove back in, you have to. When you arrive, it's the Marines that guard the base. So you have to get through them first.
Yeah.
So I always made sure that there was pretzels and tasty cakes in the back seat for them.
Yeah.
And then more pretzels and tasty cake in the trunk for my academy classmates, and that made me a huge hit with both. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't ever go wrong with this. Why would you get rid of pretzels?
I got to get a tasty cake.
You are
that
salty.
Sounds good.
Chief, we know you're super busy. We appreciate you joining the podcast. We look forward to your leadership in your many years to come here at WPD. In the meantime, if you need anything in your travels, just let us know.
I'm honored to be here. Truly am. Cool. And look forward to doing this again soon.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. We'll get a refill and we'll be right back. Bro, that was the chief.
That was the new boss.
That's the new boss. Coming from Philly, born and raised, that man has done a lot in his career so far. So, and he kept saying it, during the entire process. If you followed that, his main goal at the end too was he wants to be a chief of a large department, and to be able to be the one selected here. I think it's amazing. I think it's going to do great things for not just the department but the community. As well.
I don't know if it was just me, but like listening to him describing all the things he did with the Philadelphia Police Department, I was just kind of like,
bro, right?
Like, I don't know what an inspector is or chief inspector, but it sounded important. And I'm going to have him explain the rank structure of the Philadelphia Police Department to me. But so many employees there, too. It's crazy.
Well, at one point, he said 700 was...
his division.
Yeah.
That's our entire department.
That's our entire whole bureau. Yeah, not bureau, but our department.
Yeah. So that's just wild.
Well, then the experience and stuff with SWAT and then managing all those other divisions and stuff, especially like the ones where he said he was in charge of the Marina and SWAT and bomb, all those special tech. Like that comes with a lot of training. You got to have the mindset to be able to work through those high risk situations and stuff too. Yeah. So I think that's a lot of experience that comes to the table to lead this department. Yeah. So
he seems excited, and I'm excited to see what he does when he gets here. Excited to start working with him.
I was so glad he knew what a tasty cake was because Google was setting me up for all this.
I didn't know what it was until he said, because I was like, oh, that looks like a piece of bread.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I thought it was like a sandwich bun.
No, but it's kind of like what would be an equivalent? I don't know. Like
the bottom left was the hoagie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so Philly's known for hoagies. Just depends on what kind of meat and everything like that.
I heard their roast pork sandwiches. They're supposed to be
that
really
was another
good
one
too.
that popped up, but I had so many sandwiches, I was like, let me throw something.
It's a big sandwich town.
It is.
The city of brotherly love and sandwiches.
Yeah. He said another thing. It was brotherly love and sisterly something. I can't remember what he said it was.
I have to Google that.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
Have you been to Philly?
I've passed through Philly.
So he mentioned the zoo here. Did you know that Philadelphia Zoo is the oldest zoo?
I did not know that.
In the country.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And fun fact, if you ever seen the movie Split, there's a scene that's in the Philadelphia Zoo.
Really?
In that movie. Yeah.
See, I'm going to the family and I are going to go to New York at the end of the school year.
Oh, that'll be
for
cool.
a little vacation. And Philly's only, I think, 90 minutes away. So
you have to go to Philly too.
Train or bus or whatever it is.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's one thing I loved about the Northeast too, is they have like all of these public transportation options.
Right.
Like you can hop on a train in Connecticut and get to New York City in, an hour or so. Like that'd be nice to be able to hop on a train here and just get to Kansas City.
Yeah. And
see a Chiefs game or something.
You know what I really wished? I wish the down south weather was in the Northeast. Because I think there's so much, and don't come for me. Don't come for me if you're from the South and I want you to have cold weather. I just want it to be warmer in the Northeast because you can get all that fresh seafood, all those cool, amazing places that are up there, that are part of like the nation's history and stuff. I think it'd be cool if it was just warmer weather.
They have summer.
I got summer, man, but then it's super busy. Like I wanted it to be like Florida year round in Philly.
But then it wouldn't have so I went to New York last year around Christmas time, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Like New York at Christmas time, you got the trees, everybody's all bundled up. You got ice skating at Rockefeller Center.
Did you stay outside a long time?
I mean, as long as it takes to walk, a few blocks.
Oh, so it's not like Kansas blistering cold.
Well, you got all those buildings like blocking the wind, so it's not like the problem we have here in Kansas is it's always windy.
Yeah.
And it's so like this morning.
Yeah.
We were at Walmart and it was like 40 degrees out, but it felt like it was like that was 10 degrees.
Yeah, not to transition. That was a lot of fun this morning.
That was fun.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We made some. We helped, but North CP wanted to make some PSAs for the upcoming holidays and stuff.
Yeah, so we'll have some PSAs coming out. Newsflash: before they come out, please stop leaving items in your cars and not locking your cars.
Yeah, I feel like we need to talk about it because we haven't talked about it like ever.
Yeah,
like never.
It's something we rarely talk about because it's not really a problem.
Yeah, I
don't know if you can pick up on my sarcasm here, but
yeah, if you're just listening to us,
like literally, just don't leave your car unlocked.
Yeah. We need to come up with a jingle, right? I've told you this in the past, but I went to FBI leader training for PIOs, and they showed us a PSA that one of the there's a city did, and it was just so people would learn to press the crosswalk button because those crosswalks there would light up and stuff, right? And they wanted people to push the button. So literally for 30 seconds, they would just have this jingle that was like, push the button, push the button, push the button.
So I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, that the buttons on the crosswalks are just a placebo and they have no effect on the timing of the crosswalks. It's just to satisfy people's need to be in control of the situation.
I think that might be accurate at intersections, right? But when you have those legit...
just the pedestrian ones.
Just the pedestrian crosswalk, those will activate it. Like, okay, so if you're in Derby, there's one right there in front of Derby High. That will activate it.
Woodlawn has one just south of 21st and Woodlawn 2 on the bike path.
Oh, yeah.
And you can hit it and it'll activate like flashing lights.
Yeah, and I think on Rock... So we have several...
Yeah, we got some.
But yeah, at your four-way intersections or whatever?
Yeah, that's just a placebo, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Because
they work on...
You're not going to hit the crosswalk button and then... the light changes.
Yeah.
We need to get a traffic engineer in here to answer that.
We need to get the Redhead and the Bearded Beauty. Maybe they can talk about Redhead
and Bearded Beauty podcast. You need to have a traffic engineer and discuss whether that's a placebo or not.
Because I think it might be during the day, but maybe after like 11 p.m., no, that does activate and stuff because of the light. Because it works on the lights, right? Because I live near 2nd and Market or 1st and Market, and those lights you can tell, like the moment that thing goes yellow, the crosswalk is like blinking with a red.
I heard there's a guy at City Hall just watching all of the intersections, and he controls when they're green and red.
I bet it's Nolan.
And if he doesn't like you, he'll turn it red.
It's Nolan.
And that's why I always hit red lights downtown.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's Megan.
Could be.
So, but I'm excited, man. This is a special episode that we put on here today. I'm glad the Chief was able to jump in, especially a busy schedule coming in at 1 a.m.
Really cool of him to take time out of his day to come be a part of this podcast.
Yeah. So
I forgot to ask him if he's seen Star Wars.
Well, he probably hasn't because he's an adult and he just.
Wow.
Chief, if you're watching this, Star Wars, I'm sorry, but. And don't come for me. I'm just joking, y'all.
He's not joking. He hates Star Wars fans. He's an anti-Star Wars person.
Anti-Star Wars, yes.
That's shameful.
And Harry Potter.
Okay, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I've seen them, but they're not my cup of tea. Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord of the Rings, same way.
That new series was...
That was, yeah.
So good.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
One day.
But we will... this will be coming out after Halloween and everything, so hopefully everybody had a nice, safe Halloween. And then we'll be able to come back the following week. And
we'll talk about what's happening in November. But until then, Wichita, stay safe. Lock your doors. We need to come up with a jingle at the end or something like that. Lock your door, and you won't get stolen no more.
No, you're fine. All right, Wichita, stay safe. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.
Bye.